So this long distance aunt that hasn't seen Bryan Kohberger in half a decade comes out talking about his mental health history, and suddenly we have official documents requesting protective orders for medical records? Convenient. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. It looks like we have a couple of documents in the Idaho case, and instead of them popping up over the weekend with the infamous Friday document drops that Idaho loves to do, this one actually populated on Thursday. But over here, we were actually talking about what the aunt had to say when it came to Bryan Kohberger, and we were also covering the insanity of the Delphi case. And if you guys don't know, Richard Allen is now attorneyless, and there's an entire series of unfortunate events that got him there, besides, the case itself. So watch for the little pop-ups in this video for those videos if you guys need to catch up. Now, we're not going to look at the media requests because they're not really important whatsoever. We're going to look right here at the stipulation for protective order. Come now, the state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and the above named defendant, by and through his undersigned attorney of record, and hereby stipulate to the entry of a protective order regarding third-party medical records contained in the following discovery folders: AV000808-809. This stipulation limits access to direct review by defense counsel, investigators, and retained experts, and any further dissemination or use of the referenced medical records would be prohibited absent a specific court order or further stipulation of the parties. The parties recognize that further dissemination or use may require redaction prior to their dissemination or use. In all other respects, the provisions of the aforementioned prior orders shall remain in full force and effect. This is basically the exact same thing. The protective order in the Delphi case that is surrounding the crime scene photo leak, that's the exact same type of protective order that they want on these medical records. Now, so far, just reading this one document, I can't sit here and make a guess about whose medical records these are. They could be for one of the victims. They could be for Bryan. We don't have any idea, but it looks like it's just two files. So again, it could be for more than one person because there's two separate file numbers here. We don't have any idea. We don't know. But just like in the Delphi case, the way that we heard the protective order was supposed to go for all of the evidence there, even if you are an attorney, if you are an expert witness, if you are part of the state, if you are part of the defense team, it doesn't matter how official your title is. Okay, you still have to go through an entire process of signing a paper and getting court approval before you will ever be allowed to look. So they must be pretty important. Now, this one is just the protective order itself. It was granted pretty much instantly. And now we have a 9th supplemental request for discovery. Now, I know that they're going to be doing this probably the entire time, but it's still crazy to me that this is the 9th request for discovery because I know that the state's just going to respond with, we've given them everything that we have. And honestly, I don't even know if we can sit there and act like that's a lie because most of this was done by the FBI, and we know the FBI doesn't do anything to show their work. And so to me, even though I'm really aggravated with the way that Bill Thompson is doing stuff and the way this case is going, I can't be too mad at the state because they're kind of only, they've only got what they got, which actually kind of tells you a lot about the kind of people that they are because they're sitting there trying a case, a death penalty case at that. And they know for a fact that they don't have everything that they need to actually do this right. They're admitting it every time these requests for discovery comes up. They're admitting the problem, that they don't have this, they don't have that. The FBI didn't give them this. They don't have this report. They don't have that report. This wasn't done. They haven't seen it. Then how can you sit up there with so much conviction convicting this man? And just like the past couple of supplemental requests for discoveries, this exhibit is sealed. And then, of course, we have where they are just putting on the actual attachment for this to be under seal, but there's no other information. And this is just going to be them going ahead and approving the seal. Yeah, see John Judge's signature right there. Sealed as of 2 days ago, the 18th of October. Now, I am actually pretty curious about the AV part of the way that this is being stored. I believe it's mixed media, but I wanted to verify that. And I went ahead and typed in what kind of file usually starts with AV, and it states the AV file extension is associated with different file types depending on the software used to create them. AV files are mostly associated with the following file types, and it says multimedia container format, used to save video files recorded by surveillance cameras and dashboard cameras. An AV file typically contains encrypted video, audio, and file metadata recorded by surveillance cameras and compressed in H.264 format. And then the second little description right here claims a document created by Final Draft AV, a word processor used to create screenplays for commercials, corporate videos, and documentaries. So this AV file that they're talking about, I don't think it's actual medical records. This might be maybe like the surveillance camera of him, if it's Bryan's, surveillance camera of him going to maybe an emergency room or an urgent care, maybe on, the night of or the day after what happened at the King Roadhouse, possibly. The way that this is describing what an AV file is, it seems like it would be video. And so that wouldn't be medical records. That wouldn't be actual like medical history or documents from a doctor's visit or an emergency room visit. It wouldn't be anything like that. In my opinion, it would be video of something medical, which is interesting. But then again, don't they videotape autopsies and whatnot? So what if this is one of the autopsies, or possibly two of the autopsies, since there's two separate files here? I mean, I guess it could be the same autopsy and just have two separate files. We do have some sort of understanding that Ethan Chapin possibly did have two autopsies. Now, I know that they mentioned that the autopsies were going to be handled with Washington. Really early on in the news, we heard that little detail. But we also need to keep in mind that this instance happened on November the 13th. And in the PCA, when it talks about Ethan's autopsy, that was actually handled in Spokane, Washington, it's dated December 15th, which is over a month later. So there's a possibility it could be that, just because that's something that we've assumed from the documentation and what we've heard. But as of what we're getting, there's no way to tell what this is or who this is about. I'm pretty sure that once again, we're going to start hearing a slew of, oh, one of the girls must have been pregnant, rumors going around. We've been getting that literally from the beginning, and I don't understand why or where it actually came from, because if any of the girls would have been pregnant, he would have 5 charges on him, not just 4. And we all know that that's true, so I don't understand why that's even being a thing discussed right now. But this will probably end up stirring that pot one more time. But yeah, other than this most likely being some sort of surveillance video or some sort of video that has something to do with third-party medical records, which again, third-party medical records, I don't know what that means. I work for a third-party billing type company, and my job in that company is to call the insurance companies and find out why they're refusing to pay a claim and do the research in order to make the corrections needed in order for the claim to get paid. So third party in the medical world is something that's not direct facility, not direct doctor. My company, third party billing company, it means that we are contracted by the billing department at the hospital themselves to help them go through all of these bills and try to get all of these claims fixed. So with this being third-party medical records, I don't know. I mean, unless someone signed a HIPAA release and they were able to get them over, or they were subpoenaed over from somewhere else, I don't know. But that also tells me that it's not from the medical unit inside of the jail if they're a third party. So there's that too. And that's the only reason I'm even rambling about that, was to get to that part right there. With the way that this says third party, it would mean that this is not from the inside of the jail that Bryan Kohberger is currently in. It wouldn't be called third party medical records if it was directly from their own sources, if that makes any sense. But that is it, you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this new information. I'm not even excited for the type of rumors that are about to start going around. And it's the weekend. Yeah, it's probably going to get pretty ridiculous. If you liked what we talked about in today's video, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. See y'all.